भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन् इति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. Today, as per the request of devotees, we will discuss a little bit on New Year resolutions. We are just beginning this new year, 2025. 2024 has gone forever, never to come back again in the history of time. So, how to start this new year? Actually, we are starting something new every time. It is new year that may last for 365 days. I don't know if that is leap year. 366 days? Normal, 365 days. So, it's a kind of big celebration. But every 30 days month is changing. Every 7 days week is changing. Every 24 hours day is changing. So anything that is new creates some excitement. And if the frequency of that newness is very less, excitement goes down. But if the frequency is very much, it's too frequent, excitement goes down. If it is rare, excitement goes up. Why January 1st is celebrated more than February 1st or March 1st? Because January 1st comes not just as the first day of the month, first day of the year, right? Therefore there is some excitement. But in a spiritual context, also we can become excited with something new. Devotees get excited with festivals, new temple coming up, right? New Brahman initiation, right? New name when initiation happens. But the activities will remain more or less the same. But what makes this new thing, the element of new, special is because of this newness, there is a rejuvenation of our enthusiasm, or we start recommitting to what we have been following for several days or years, right? So, okay, yesterday's japa was not so great. It's a new day. Let me start my japa better today. So last year went in this way. I couldn't do these services. I couldn't complete these activities. So this year let me just attempt to make it better. So like that, anything new has the potency to give us a sense of new commitment, rejuvenation of our commitment or enthusiasm to do the same thing, right? Actually there is nothing new in this material world, right? Every day is new because sun is rising, but sun is rising and setting eternally, right? Since the beginning of creation and till Mahavishnu breathes in, sun continues to rise and set. Okay, but because he's doing it periodically. So whenever he rises in the morning, that's like a new beginning of the day, and then you begin with prayers to spiritual master, taking darshan of the deities, offering prayers to the Lord by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, hearing some Bhagavatam, reading some Bhagavatam, beginning your day's activities. Even Brahma began his new life by meditating on the Lord for 100 years. And Brahma begins every day by meditating on the Lord, and then he begins his creation process, right? So, in the spiritual context, the way of celebrating something new, whether it is new year or new month or new week or new course, new canto. For Vidyapit students, okay, 10th canto happened for several months. Somehow I couldn't be sufficiently absorbed. Maybe from 11th canto, first chapter is beginning from tomorrow. Let me just start studying well. Or the junior batch people. So third canto is finished. Now fourth canto is beginning. Somehow I couldn't do well in third canto. Let me just start sincerely studying fourth canto from first chapter. Right? So that's good. As long as you are able to recommit yourself to the process, that's always good. But what makes your quote unquote resolutions for a new year or a new month or a new week or a new job or a new course exciting is your reflection on the past and your determination to do well in the future, right? Now let's focus on this reflection part first. Say, let's take this context only. 2024 has gone, 25 has just begun. What went wrong in 2024? Just make a note of it. And what went well? That also you can just make a note. So what worked and what didn't work? Just make a small list in your mind or in your book with a pen or on your iPads, tablets with your stylus. Make a note out of it. Okay. Then next is if you are seeing the list of what went well, try to repeat them. And when you see the list of what went wrong, try to regret for them genuinely, right? So regret for what has gone wrong and repeat what has gone right. Simple exercise. But that regret becomes genuine to the degree we resolve to rectify it. So you are regretting for what went wrong. That's great. An honest person is one who genuinely reflects on one's activities and admits if there is any mistake on one's part, and tries to not repeat them, right? So regret should be followed by an attempt not to repeat what went wrong, right? So first step is make a list of what has gone wrong, then what has gone right, what went well, what worked and what didn't work. The next is regret for what went wrong and try to repeat what has gone good. So then comes, that's a resolution part. So when you take a resolution, you take a sincere resolution not to repeat the same mistakes you have done, and repeat the good practices, continue on with the good practices, right? But simply taking a resolution is not sufficient. Resolution should be followed by determination. So we should have determination to commit to our resolution. That's important. Now, your resolution is great and you have sufficient amount of determination, as we are hearing this morning also in the Bhagavatam class. Don't depend only on your determination, because when you overly depend on your determination, you are being again self-absorbed. You are being in a doer consciousness. I can do it, I cannot do it. That's what determination is. Or in another words, determination basically means you are depending on your inner strength to do or to not do, right? But don't overly depend on your own personal determination or your self-control abilities. You should also depend on other devotees. You should also intelligently, diligently orchestrate the circumstances around you as much as humanly possible, and try to avoid distractions. Instead of going into a ambience of distraction, thinking that I will be determined enough not to be distracted, better avoid that distracted ambience itself. Simple example. Doctor told you not to eat something. You are very determined not to eat it, right? So, although you are very determined not to eat gulab jamun, still when it comes in front of you, you may be tempted to eat it, right? So, determination is to not eat it even if it's present in front of you. But to facilitate the determination, don't just depend only on your inner resolve. Also try to avoid a place where gulab jamun is being served. Don't go there. Because sometimes it's so tempting. Our determination, we may not be able to maintain our determination sufficiently in an ambience of distraction. And the situation is very distracting. So let's try to avoid that. Let's try to create a favorable ambience. Let's try to embrace the facilities that are favorable to us and try to avoid things that are unfavorable to us. So to summarize the whole discussion, first is recognize what went well and what did not go well. Second step, regret for what went wrong and try to repeat what has gone correct. That is the resolution part. You take a resolution not to repeat the same mistakes but to repeat the good practices. So resolution must be followed by a determination to commit to that resolution, right? And don't overly depend only on your determination. Try to avoid things that may distract you from your commitment, from your determination. So anukulyasya sankalpam pratikulyasya varjanam, right? Then the resolutions make sense. So you may internally take a resolve, okay, I will do this, I will not do this. But if you don't try to avoid things that may instigate you to do the same bad thing again, then we are not giving value to our own resolution, or we are not sufficiently determined enough to keep up to that resolution, right? So this is just one little thought to begin with. But what does Bhagavatam teach about taking resolutions and being committed to those resolutions? So whatever I spoke so far in the last 5 minutes or 10 minutes, let's see it through an example of a Bhagavatam character. So the best example that comes to my mind whenever I think of resolutions is Ajamila. Ajamila had such a degraded, sinful background, but after having an encounter with Vishnu Dutas, Ajamila took so many resolutions. You can go to 6th canto, 2nd chapter. The second half of the chapter is filled with Ajamila's resolutions. Few slokas, I think 5-6 slokas are there. But those few shlokas teach us a lot. How to maintain our resolutions. How to recommit ourselves to a right path when we realize that we have gone wrong. When we realize that we have not tried to apply it up to the mark. Right? So Ajamila was a nice Brahman, a pure Brahman. He's very honest, he's very truthful, he's very wise, he's very learned, he's very respectful to all the elders, uh, and he studied Shastras. He self-controlled. His senses and mind were in control at one point, till he saw the prostitutes just behaving, inappropriately in public. So Ajamil tried to see her. Ajamil just encountered that scene, and he tried to control himself. He was a bit disturbed when he saw the scene. He tried to control himself. He was remembering all the Vedic regulations. His knowledge just popped up and tried to control his senses. But eventually he left that place also. But although he left that scene where he saw an obscene situation, obscene interaction between a man and woman, although he left that place, what he has seen there haunted him as he moved to his home. Then Ajamil was meditating on that scene constantly, and he desired to bring her home. And later he abandoned his chaste wife coming from a respectable family. He abandoned his loving parents, and he even gave up his Brahmanical culture. He gave up all good habits, and he became a victim of his own lusty desires. So like that, he became so old. He became 88 years old, and he had a little son. Fortunately, he named that son as Narayana, and he was about to die in his old days at the age of 88. Then the Yamadutas came, because Ajamil committed sinful activities with body, mind and words. 3 Yamadutas came to take him to hell. So he was calling out the name of his son. My dear son, Narayana, 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 come here, come here. But Narayana is not coming. Means son Narayana is not coming. But original Narayana heard. Original Lord Narayana heard in the spiritual sky, and he had sent 4 Vishnu Dutas. Narayana. 1 Vishnu Duta for 1 syllable of holy name. For each syllable of holy name he had sent 1 Vishnu Duta. Please protect my devotee from those Yamadutas. 1 Vishnu Duta is sufficient to handle hundreds of Yamadutas. But the Lord is very enthusiastic to save his devotee. He had sent 4 Vishnu Dutas to deal with only 3 Yamadutas. Disproportionate. And what did the Vishnu Dutas do? They gave a holy name seminar in front of the Yamadutas. Yamadutas also gave a seminar before the Vishnu Dutas. What was their seminar? Ordinary dharma, about piety, impiety, punya, papa. Analysis of Ajamil's degraded activities, and what punishment he deserves. So Vishnu Dutas heard all this, and you know what all. I think senior batch people have already studied this Ajamil episode in the 6th canto. Junior batch you will take some time to study. So, but our main discussion now is about resolutions, not the whole pastime. So Ajamil personally witnessed and heard what the Yamaduta spoke, and later what the Vishnu Duta spoke. Yamaduta spoke about ordinary dharma of punishing a sinful person for the mistakes, and Vishnu Duta spoke transcendental dharma of forgiving, compassionately forgiving even a great offender on the strength of his chanting of holy names. Can you just imagine? See the difference between these 2 dharmas. This dharma is based on strictness, which is required to some degree. But this dharma is based on compassion. Right? This dharma announces the glories of the holy names of Krishna. So this dharma announces the fierceness of karma, fruitive activities. In any case, Ajamil heard the whole discussion, and Vishnu Dutas cut the ropes of Yamadutas and they chased them away. And Yamadutas just left that place. And now Ajamil became very grateful, and he wanted to express his thankfulness to the Vishnu Dutas and speak to them a few words. But when he was about to speak to the Vishnudutas disappeared from there. Vishnudutas did not give him a chance to speak or to converse. Then Ajamil's reflection began. Right? Ajamil reflected on all the past bad activities that he has done. I have cheated so many people. I have robbed them, looted them. Somehow by sinful means I have earned my livelihood. And I have associated with this bad lady. It's not her mistake, it's my mistake. He is the one who brought her to his home, not that she called him there. He is the one who did not exhibit sufficient self-control when he saw that scene, and he became a victim of lust. So Ajamil regretted for all the mistakes he has done. He said, I have degraded my family tradition. I have insulted my parents. I have abandoned my parents. They did not have any other child to take care of them in their old age. Although it is my responsibility to take care of my parents, I did not take care of my parents. I abandoned them. So I am such an ungrateful person. So I have offended the whole Vedic culture and spiritual culture. I have abandoned my chaste wife who came from a respectable family. I have abandoned my parents. So he regretted for all the mistakes he has committed. He condemned himself so much. Then he recognized something good in whatever he has done so far. Although he has done so many mistakes, so many sinful activities till then, there's something great that he has done also. He recognized it. Sometimes when we are regretting, when we are repenting for our mistakes, we may condemn ourselves so much that we become depressed and demotivated and become so dejected, and we start hating ourselves so much. So our regret or repentance should not make us hate ourselves, should make us become compassionate to ourselves and uplift our own consciousness to a spiritual plane. Right? So compassion is not only compassion for other living entities who are suffering. Compassion also means to show compassion to oneself. And the real compassion that one shows towards oneself is not pampering one's false ego. The real compassion that one shows to oneself is uplift that consciousness to a higher level, a spiritual plane. Right? So Ajamil started reflecting. After reflecting on all his sinful activities and sincerely repenting and regretting for them, Ajamil started thinking that I must have done something good. I must have done some little bhakti, some spiritual activity, some dharmic activity, some little sadhana that must have pleased the Lord. Otherwise, why would these 4 Vishnudutas come to me at the time of death when the Yamadutas were taking me to hell and save me? The very fact that these Vishnudutas came, this effulgent four-handed personalities came to rescue me, shows that I must have done something good. Not that he is attributing so much credit to himself, but he is recognizing that I have done something good to gather their grace. If I continue this good, right, if I repeat the good activities that I have done in the past, if I intensify them, and also making an effort to avoid all the sinful activities I have done, then I will get more grace of these 4 personalities. And actually he got. Initially, for whatever little good he has done, it could be chanting the holy names of Narayana while calling his son, or it could be some other worship that he has done before meeting that prostitute. He has done some good, because of which he received some grace and some assistance from the Vishnudutas in a moment of crisis. Right? Now he recognized that good. I need to repeat this. I need to maximize this. I need to intensify these spiritual practices. I need to chant the holy names of Krishna with more commitment. Just casual chanting of Narayana name, Sanketyam Parihasyam Vastobham Helanam Evava Vaikunthanama Gharanam Asesha Agharam Vidu. Even indirect, unconscious, inattentive, indirect chanting of the holy names of Krishna or Narayana can uplift one's consciousness, can purify a person from all sinful activities. What to speak of conscious chanting? What to speak of committed chanting? What to speak of directly calling the Lord? So earlier, when Vishnudutas came and saved Ajamil, Ajamil tried to speak to them, but they did not stop. They left. But after 12 years of his sadhana, Bhakti sadhana in Haridwar, when Ajamil was completely purified of his sinful activities and became very elevated spiritually, then the Vishnudutas came. When he was about to speak, they did not disappear. They took him along with them. They took him to Vaikuntha. Right? He did little good, little spiritual activity and he got little glimpse of this Vishnudutas in reciprocation with whatever good he has done, and that gave him a second chance. And then Ajamil continued only the good thing and avoided all the bad things that he has done, and finally he got to Vaikuntha along with them. So when you're regretting or repenting for the sins you have committed, that should not make you hopeless. That should not make you just enter into a deep mode of ignorance, of self-denial. But in the name of not condemning oneself, you should not become shameless also. Right? Sometimes in the name of showing compassion to oneself and not condemning oneself so much, not going into deep ignorance ignorance, etc., people may kind of become shameless. They don't sufficiently regret. They don't sincerely regret for the mistakes that they have committed. Right? So Ajamil showed a wonderful balance between his regret and his commitment to continuing his good practices and intensifying his spiritual sadhana. Right? Whatever holy names of the Lord I have chanted unconsciously while indicating my son, let me chant those same holy names consciously while indicating the Lord. So our Sukadeva Goswami concludes Ajamil episode by a very thought-provoking shloka. He said, the conclusion of Ajamil episode is not that you do whatever you want throughout your life and just say Narayana at the end of life and then go back to Godhead. Ante Narayana Smriti. That's what second canto says, right? Ante Narayana Smriti. That's what Ajamil did. At the time of death, he chanted Narayana and went back to Godhead. No, he did not go back to Godhead. He was only given a second chance. Did he go back to Godhead immediately? Vishnudutas came to save him from Yamadutas. Vishnudutas did not come to take Ajamil to Vaikuntha at once. He only got a second chance. So many people miss that. So Sukadeva Goswami says, and Vishnu Chakravarti comments, Ajamil chanted without faith. What will happen if you chant with faith? Ajamil chanted to call his son. What will happen if you chant to call the Lord? Ajamil chanted with a sinful background. What will happen if you chant by following four regulative principles? Ajamil chanted at the time of death. What will happen if you chant throughout your life? Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mamanusmaridhyacha. These are the 4 points that we need to meditate upon. Right? So there is little good in what Ajamil has done. Ajamil has done so many sinful activities, but there is something glorious in what he has done. What is that? Chanting the holy names of the Lord while calling his son. Son may be whatever, I don't know the age of the son, maybe 1 year old, 2 years old, whatever it is. So since the moment he named his son Narayana, till the moment Yamadutas came to arrest him or take him to hell, all these months or years, whatever may be the duration, I don't remember reading anything about the, anyone knows how much, what is the age of the son Narayana? He is a toddler, maybe 1 or 2 year old boy. So that much duration, Ajamil was very affectionately chanting Narayana, 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 Narayana. But the object of affection is the son, not the Lord Narayana. But son could not understand father's feelings, but the holy name Narayana, who is non-different from the person Narayana, understood the feelings of Ajamil. And expressed so much of affection on Ajamil. So Ajamil regretted for all his misdeeds and also recognized what he has done right, and he wanted to maximize all the right things he has done, all the spiritual activities he has done. He went to Haridwar. He took a resolution. I will not repeat my sinful activities again. Second point. I will be committed to the process of hearing and chanting nicely. I will not commit these sins again. So he went to Haridwar. He did not continue in the same hut with the same family members. He chose a better ambience. Okay, I think this ambience has distracted me sufficiently. Whenever I enter this ambience, I only felt like committing sinful activities. Let me change. Let me go to a place which is more conducive and favorable for my spiritual practices. And Ajamil changed his geographical location. That does not mean we have to change geographical location. That's not the message here. But the point is, choose whatever is favorable for your bhakti. Anukulyasya sankalpam. Right? It could be this. Okay? I have spent sufficient time on this phone. Maybe in 2024, the average time that I have spent on the phone may be 2 hours in a day, or 5 hours in a day, or 12 hours in a day. Let me minimize it. It could be like that. So I will not carry my phone during japa time. Some small things. So creating some kind of favorable ambience for yourself, favorable atmosphere for yourself, so that you don't have to depend only on your determination, inner determination, or the strength of your resolution. So after taking a resolution with a determination, ensure that you will be able to continue like that. For that you need to choose favorable ambience also. It's not that you purposely go on razor's edge, thinking that I am determined not to cut my feet. Not to bleed. I have a lot of determination, but the power of my determination, I am walking on this. I better walk on the grassy path now if it is available. If you have no option, that's a different thing. So sometimes only determination will not work. Blind determination will not work. So you need to also expect, and we should not underestimate the mind's ability to get distracted. Mind's tendency to get distracted. We should not underestimate the mind's distraction. So better give the mind a favorable ambience as much as possible. So Ajamil regretted, and then he took a resolution and he went to a favorable place. Now let's see the example of Vyasadeva. With a great spirit of compassion, Vyasadeva wrote so many scriptures, including the Vedas, the Puranas, the Itihasas, Vedanta Sutra, what else? Upanishads, Mahabharata. So many things he has written. And he also appointed different disciples to elaborate on what he has written and divide into sections and subsections and propagate all this knowledge amongst the common masses. All this Vyasadeva has done with a spirit of compassion, with a deep concern for the Kali Yuga people. Kali Yuga is going to come up very soon. But somehow he went wrong. Somehow he felt very despondent. He was not very happy with whatever he has done. There is a lot of dissatisfaction in his heart. Then he honestly reflected on what he has done. Motives are clear. Motives are correct. He did it out of compassion only. But the way he expressed his compassion is not up to the mark. Yes, just to help the Kali Yuga people, I have written so many scriptures, trying to give them some guidance, uplift their consciousness. Manda sumanda matayoha manda bhagya hipadritaha. So, because they are very disturbed, short-lived, not so intelligent, they need something to guide them. We need to put all the philosophy in writing. They are not Shrutidhars. They won't be able to remember what they have heard. Previous Yuga people, they would hear once, they will remember it forever. No tablets, no phones, no pens or papers. They can remember forever. That is their ability. But Kali Yuga people cannot. So we need to put all the philosophy in writing. So his motive is great. his attempt is glorious. But the way he has put that motive into action in a manifested project, something went wrong. Then he started reflecting. Then he understood, with his own reflection, with his own introspection, he understood that maybe I have not sufficiently highlighted Bhakti Yoga in my writings. I did not sufficiently stress or emphasize Krishna and Krishna Bhakti, which is very dear to all the Lord, all the devotees and the Lord. Is that the reason for my despondency? Am I feeling dissatisfied because I have not sufficiently emphasized on the process of Bhakti Yoga in my writings? He was thinking like this, then his Guru came, Narada Muni came. And Narada Muni said the same thing. It's an elaborate description, but Narada Muni said the same thing. Yes, you have overemphasized on 4 Purusharthas, Dharmartha, Kama, Mokshas, and you have not sufficiently stressed on Bhakti Yoga. You have not sufficiently stressed on Krishna, Krishna's incarnations, Krishna's devotees and the process of Bhakti. So when you do this, then you will be satisfied. So what's the message here? Our honest introspection, our honest reflection, our honest self-analysis, contemplation will reveal what went wrong and what went right. And apart from introspection, we should also rely on the strength of consultation. Introspection and consultation. So you analyze yourself honestly. That honest introspection will reveal what went wrong and what went right, and what you need to repeat and continue, what we should stop and regulate yourself. All that you can understand to some degree by honest introspection. But don't depend only on that. Get a confirmation. Go to a reliable, trustworthy devotee. The devotee could be your friend or your counselor or your mentor or some senior, some well-wisher, and take a review from them. Take some advice, some good advice. Where can I improve? What went wrong? Right? And this we need not do only on December 31st or January 1st. We can do any time. That's a new beginning of a new phase of life, to recommit ourselves to the path. Okay, but if this occasion inspires you to do it, please do it. Right? But the point is, time to time, a sadhaka should reflect on one's performance of sadhana, one's consciousness while doing sadhana, one's commitment to the whole path, one's sincerity. One has to do some self-evaluation and also do some consultation. Many times when we evaluate ourselves based on our own thought process, our own, even if you know so much also, sometimes when you are too absorbed in certain thoughts, whether they are positive or negative, especially negative thoughts, when you are absorbed too much in certain thoughts or certain perspectives, we may not be able to see a bigger picture. Other devotees will kindly give us that perspective. Oh, I missed this angle. I am seeing the situation from this angle. Oh, I think there is another angle to it, another angle to it, another angle to it. Other devotees seeing from that angle. Right? So, one thing I can honestly say is we should give some liberty to other devotees to correct us. So, when we are honest enough to take some inputs from other devotees, take some reviews, take some inputs, take some suggestions, then combine it with your own honest introspection, self-analysis, and come up with the right resolution that is tailor-made for you, that suits you the best, that takes you at least one step closer to Krishna, that uplifts your consciousness from wherever it is, little above at least. You may not become pure devotee overnight. Right now I am working on Bhakti Rasamrita Subodhini, second part. My God, all these vibhavas, anubhavas, sattvika bhavas, my God, where are they and where are we? So I am working because of the instruction given by so many senior Vaishnavas, but point is, we have a long way to go. If you think we have become sufficiently advanced in bhakti, we are an illusion probably, at least I am an illusion. I can't speak about you. There is a lot to explore. there is a lot to know. There's a lot to practice what we know and come to that standard that is being described. So I was thinking I have to somehow complete this as soon as possible. I have set a certain target or deadline for all quote unquote noble reasons. But the New Year's Day, and one devotee intervened and said, no, this Rupa Goswami wrote this book for almost 2 decades. How can you finalize it in 2 months? Right. I mean, I've been writing for longer time than this. So let's give it sufficient thought, read it, reread it. It's not just making some notes and printing. We need to do it thoroughly. And our Madhav Gopal Prabhu is seeing commentaries, Sanskrit commentaries, and then editing what I have written. So essentially, what I wanted to say is, you can't just completely depend only on your analysis, self-analysis, or your introspection. That is necessary part, but not sufficient. It's necessary to do some introspection, but it is not sufficient. It may not reveal the bigger picture. So you need to ask another devotee. You need to consult some mature devotees and get their perspectives also, and then with this combined analysis, you can try to make your resolutions not just about the tasks that you need to do, not about the services that you need to do, but more about your own personal consciousness and character and attitude and approach towards the process of bhakti. Right? So that will help us grow, and these occasions like this, we can do it at any occasion, but if these occasions like this can give you some special boost in recommitting to the path and re-evaluating your way of approaching the process of bhakti and reflecting on the mistakes that we have committed and repeating the good things that we have done. Oh, this is good practice, I need to continue, I should not leave this. That is your strength so far, don't leave that. So you need to tell yourselves, you need to hear from others also. Then all these resolutions and all will make sense. So there is a great possibility of someone who is extremely degraded in consciousness to be highly elevated in consciousness when the process is followed sincerely. Right? However fallen one may be, the process has the power to uplift our consciousness. Just because some people failed, or in some instances some failures happened, when you say some people failed, they may fail at that moment, that does not mean they are eternally a failure. They failed in that context, later they will grow. But just because sometimes you or a struggling sadhaka could not follow the path properly, that does not mean the process itself is bad. You have the right recipe for your favorite sabji. What's your favorite sabji? Yes, Rakho Kirtanru. Huh? Paneer. Oh my God. So paneer is your favorite sabji. I thought you will say some other vegetable. What to do? I think I gave this paneer example multiple times. Anyways, replace paneer with potato. Recipe same. Recipe is same. Same recipe, all other ingredients are same. Just replace paneer with potato. Potato is suran. You know suran? When suran is there, I'll run away from there. My throat and everything will start itching. I can't speak, I can't give class. So you just replace that paneer with suran. Everything else is same. Will you get the same taste? Will you get the same satisfaction? So just because the ingredient is not proper, or instead of putting a good quality paneer, you put some kind of third class paneer where half the content is rubber, not paneer. Right? Will you get the same taste and same nourishment and same health benefit? Definitely not, right? So just because the The ingredient, one of the ingredients is not proper, you cannot doubt the recipe. Recipe is tried and tested. So the recipe that Rupa Goswami has given us, the 64 limbs of Bhakti, the recipe that Prahalad Maharaj has given us, Navadha Bhakti, in the 7th canto of Bhagavatam, Sravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam, the recipe that Rupa Goswami has given us in the form of 5 potent forms of Bhakti, 5 potent limbs of Bhakti, Panchanga Bhakti, Srimad Bhagavatam, DT worship, Dham, Vaishnava Seva, holy name. The recipe is perfect, right? The process is perfect. Sometimes the persons who are practicing the process may not be perfect, or the persons who are the imperfect persons who are practicing the process may not be perfect in their practice, but that does not mean the practice itself is imperfect or the process itself is imperfect. Process is perfect. There may be some imperfections in an immature practitioner. Fine, let them take some time. Let them take their own time to grow, just as we have taken so much time even to come to 16 rounds. How much time you have taken to come to 16 rounds? The moment you came in touch with ISKCON and the moment you started chanting 16 rounds, what was the gap? 9 years. 9 years. My God. Okay. Aapka? Yours? Gauranga Darshan Prabhu? How much time you took? Huh? 2 years. Okay, you? Achintya Balram Prabhu? 15 days, my God. 15 days, 2 years, 9 years. You see. That's okay. At least you started, right? You started just within 15 days. Within 15 days, 16 hours. So, different devotees will take different amounts of time to even start the process. Once you start the process, to follow the process also, some people, okay, you started the process, you came to 16 rounds, you started reading Bhagavatam. Some people may complete Bhagavatam in 2-3 years. Some people will be stuck in second canto after 20 years also, right? Some people did not even open the cover of first canto after 30 years also. So multiple things are there. Of course, they may not be so regular in the study, but they may be doing other services. Fine, fine. Different devotees have different capacities to implement different aspects of devotional service, but the process is perfect. And what is expected from the practitioner of the process is little sincerity. Some little sincerity is expected, and when that is there, fine, things will move on. Mrugari, I think few days back I was discussing Mrugari example. He was a hunter, cruel hunter, who takes great pleasure in seeing the pain of half-killed animals. He purposely don't kill them completely. He purposely shoots an arrow in such a way that the animal doesn't die, but just becomes immobile and starts, feeling intense pain and then cries, tears. Seeing that pain, he takes pleasure. That's the background of Mrugari. And by the intervention of Narada Muni, by the process of chanting Hare Krishna, Mahamantra, in front of Tulsi Maharani, this Mrugari became so compassionate that he wouldn't even step on ants also. He was very excited to receive his guru when Narada Muni came to his home. But on the way he saw some ants and he doesn't want to step on those ants. He just took his cloth and then tried to remove the ants, move aside. Okay. Then he went and received his guru, Narada Muni, who came along with Parvata Muni. So, we have seen transformation stories. Mrugari's story. We have seen the story of Jagai Madhai. We have seen the story of Bilvamangal Thakur. So, we have seen people who took shelter of a dead body and crossed the river when floods are coming, when intense rain is there. We have seen people who held a live snake thinking that it is a rope and went to have some sense gratification with a woman. But they were transformed into pure devotees. So bhakti is such a process that can transform people who are very lusty, people who are extremely cruel, People who have become victims of envy, violence, greed, pride, ego. It is said that Chitragupta, he could not keep track of the amount of sinful activities that Jagai and Madhai were committing. We have seen people from that background become transformed into pure Vaishnavas. See the glory of process. So whenever taking resolution, just consider the potency of Bhakti also. So resolution should not be in such a way that this process काम नहीं कर रहे. This process is not working, it seems. I'm taking a new year resolution to change the process. Right? Don't change the process itself. All resolutions must be directed towards committing yourself to the process. Recommitting yourself with greater determination to the process of bhakti, to the shelter of Vaishnavas, to Srimad Bhagavatam, to the holy name of Krishna. Whatever it takes. Anukulyasya sankalpam pratikulyasya varjanam. Ultimately, our aim is to become little more Krishna conscious than the previous year or previous month or previous week or yesterday or the previous moment. Difficult. Because it doesn't go like this only always. It's like this, like this, like this. Seasonal. Sine wave. But even if it's like this, let it be like this, not like this. Getting right? Now you say take the same sine curve to keep it like this, but I'm saying keep it like this. Let it be like this. It can go up and down, but overall, you straighten it. It's an incline mode. So that is स्मर्तव्यः सततं विष्णो विस्मर्तव्यो न जातुचित् सर्वे विधि निषेधास्युर एतयोरेव किंकरः. Always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. These two statements are the essence of all prescriptions and prohibitions of all the Vedic literatures. You take all the scriptures, all the Shruti scriptures, Smriti scriptures, Puranas, Pancharatra, Vidhimvina, all scriptures you take and you distill the essence of all of that. You carefully analyze all the prescriptions and all the prohibitions, all the do's and all the don'ts, all the recommendations and all the restrictions, and you will come to this conclusion. All the scriptures are saying only two things. Always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. Both are same, but both have to be emphasized separately also. Always remember Krishna. That's not sufficient. Never forget Krishna also. Do's and don'ts both are given. Yama, niyama both are given. Right? Means anukulyasya sankalpam pratikulyasya varjanam. Adopt whatever is favorable to increase your Krishna consciousness. Avoid what is unfavorable to increase your Krishna consciousness. Right? Adopting what is favorable, avoiding what is unfavorable. This is the essence of all rules and regulations in all the scriptures. Right? And all this must be applied in a Vaishnava way. One may be determined to follow the process. That's great. One may take a resolution. But is the determination in the mode of passion? So determination in mode of passion, you can read Bhagavad Gita, 17th, 18th chapters. Krishna gives determination in three modes, happiness in three modes, doer in three modes, work in three modes, happiness, sacrifice in three modes, speech in three modes. So, if we are determined in a mode of passion, we think we are doing things. In a doership mentality, you will do bhakti. Okay, I will overcome this anartha in 2025. From January 1st to December 31st is the project. What's the result of the project? Zero lust on December 31st. Right? Zero envy, zero pride. Yeah. One project is to eliminate all the anarthas, right? To avoid all the anarthas, to rise above the anarthas. Anarthopasamam sakshat bhakti yogam adhokshaje. By performing bhakti, all the anarthas are gone. Right? So the project is perform bhakti nicely to eradicate all these anarthas. But if we do it thinking that we can do it, then we have not fully understood. That determination, that resolution is in mode of passion. I can do it. I can destroy the lust in my heart. I will become a Shantamurti. Now I am very agitated. I am very angry. Fumes come out of my mouth and nose and all holes. Right? When I become angry when somebody does something that doesn't appeal to me. But by 31st December, I will become Shantamurti. Project. 31st December, 12 midnight. Lust is gone. Anger is gone. Kama yesha krodha yesha rajoguna samudbhavaha. All the doors to hell are closed. Trividham narakasyedam dvaram nashanam atmanaha. Kama krodhas tatha lobha tasmade tatrayam tyajet. All three. I will be tyajet. I will give them up by 31st December midnight. It may happen also. But don't think that it will happen because of you only. It should happen because of you also. Your commitment should be there. But as I said some time back, our determination should be coupled with our dependence on Krishna, dependence on devotees. When the determination is coupled with the dependence on Krishna and devotees, that determination is devotional determination. But when your determination is coupled with your sense of doership, that is determination in mode of passion. And when your determination is coupled with your desire for freedom, liberation, enough of it, I should get out of this. You are seeking freedom, that is determination in mode of Sattva-guna. But I don't know what is Rajogun, what is Tamogun. When your determination takes you in the opposite direction, probably you are more confused, you are more bewildered. Your determination lasts for only 1 or 2 days and then later you are totally deranged. I think I should discard determination itself. Right? That becomes Tamoguni determination probably. But essentially the point that I need to make or I want to emphasize is, let us be committed to the process with all our full power, but let us also be more dependent on the grace of Krishna and the guidance of devotees. Grace of Krishna, guidance of devotees, coupled with our own determined resolutions, will help us go one step closer to Krishna. Right? Fine. Shall we stop here? Questions? Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Just on this point of self-compassion, which you mentioned along the class, or of being kind with oneself. So 2 things are there. Like one is, what is the mentality, the practical mindset of that self-compassion and the practical steps in how it comes on the day-to-day life towards ourselves? The mentality and then actions that come with it. And on the other side, what is the border? Where is the line for that pampering, for that, degrading kind of...
Prabhupada gives a very simple example. Compassion is compassion on the soul. Right? You read 2nd chapter of Bhagavad Gita, right in the beginning purports Prabhupada writes, compassion for the dress of a drowning man is useless. Somebody is drowning in a river, wearing a very expensive suit, golden watch, or golden ring, diamond-studded golden ring, an iPhone in hand. Will you protect the iPhone or the person? Will you protect the suit or the person? Will you protect the ring or the person? So compassion is always for the soul, or supposed to be for the soul. Of course, compassion can be shown for the body also. Compassion can be shown for the mind also. Compassion can be shown on the intellectual platform also. Somebody is physically not well, somebody is sick, you go and give them a tablet, some medicine. That is compassion shown on the body. When somebody is little emotionally disturbed, go and give them some emotional support, that is compassion for the mind. When somebody is stuck solving some problem, give him some idea. Offer your intelligence, your experience, that is compassion on the intellectual platform. All these are great, But ultimately, compassion at all the other levels must be centered on compassion for the soul. Whatever intellectual ideas you are giving, whatever emotional support you are giving, whatever physical support you are giving to others, must be to bring them to Krishna consciousness. So compassion in its ultimate sense is on the soul, not on the body. You may show compassion on the soul through the body, right? So now when you say self-compassion, it is compassion on your soul, not only on your body, not only on your ego, not only on your mind or intelligence or senses or ego, it is on the soul. So compassion on the soul, compassion on yourself is to practice Bhakti Yoga. You asked, how does this self-compassion manifest in one's actions? Self-compassion manifests in one's action as sincerity in sadhana, sincerity in seva, sincerity in sadachar. Right? When I am chanting my rounds properly, as attentively as humanly possible, with the current purity levels of consciousness, when I am studying Srimad Bhagavatam sincerely, when I am doing whatever services that I am supposed to do sincerely, that is self-compassion. Got the meaning of self-compassion? That is how self-compassion manifests in our actions. Right? Many times we think that self-compassion means so and so person troubled me, and you have the sense of self-pity, and it happened with me also. You may start unnecessarily seeing other person as a culprit and you as a victim. This victim consciousness and culprit consciousness, both are born out of false ego only. But what does Bhagavatam teach us? Tatena kampam susamikshmano bhunjana evatmakritam vipakam. Atmakritam vipakam. This is a result of my own past misdeeds. So we keep forgetting it. I keep forgetting it many times. So remembering the shloka is always easy. But remembering that shloka at the right time when you have to apply the principle that the shloka is teaching is difficult. Remembering the shloka is always easy. Getting the meaning is easy. Even grammatical analysis also may be easy. But recollecting that principle taught by the shloka at the right time and putting it into practice is the most difficult thing. Even if you know 1,000 shlokas, even one shloka may not manifest when the right situation comes in front of you. Are, kaun se shloka yaad karo abhi? Gunadhikan vadam lipse dhanukarsham gunadhama. So does it answer your question?
In the borderline about the pampering?
Pampering of what? Ego, mind, intelligence, body?
Where is that line? Like being kind to myself mentally and physically, but then where is it distracting me or softening the intensity of my practice?
Yes. As far as intensity of practice is concerned, that involves some austerity. That's what austerity is basically. So there are austerities in three modes. When you are doing austerity in the name of doing sadhana, practice of bhakti, when you are doing austerities that are degrading your health, that are affecting your body physically, you are unable to function, you have say fever 103. Still, you get up, take cold water bath early in the morning, Sankranti time. You come early in the morning. Okay. Then that's not good, right? So basically, when it is disturbing your physical health, when it is making you emotionally really disturbed, then you need to understand. For example, somebody is physically, you understood, right? Physically, you don't cross your boundaries, just operate within your health boundaries. Don't compromise on your health so much. Little bit of extending your physically is always good. It has to be done, but don't extend beyond certain boundaries. Don't become a superhuman. Be a human, as long as you are in the human body. Then second, mentally, what I have heard from a spiritual master, I can say, in the name of humility or tolerance, you should not allow yourself to be troubled or exploited by others. Right? So, when somebody is, disturbing your emotions very unreasonably, right? You may just express it, right, in a very polite way, Vaishnava way probably, in the right forums, in the right way, right? So, is that what you are trying to ask?
Sometimes you get in this mentality that okay, let me make softening the practice. Like okay, let me to go to Govindas every day. Maybe he's still in the ashram. Or let me like wake up a bit later in the morning. Let me maybe I'm studying too much. My mind is always too much. Let me maybe see some videos on YouTube. Because it's good for me to relax a bit my mind. So I need to also be kind to myself.
Okay. In the 11th canto of Bhagavatam, there's an example. Horses are compared to senses. When you try to overly regulate your horses, right? When you try to control your horses too much, the horse will just overpower the horse rider and throw him down. Horse rider has to control the horse, no doubt. Reins must be under control. But if you try to control the horse too much, then the horse will rebel. Similarly, when you try to control your senses too much, the senses will rebel. Govindas every day is not correct, but once in a while fine, right? How much you can how much you can soften your practice? You said, right? Yeah. Once in a while, taking some opulent food is fine. Once in a while, taking chapati, making chapati as a cup, making it like a pool and with some, water, with some ghee inside, right? Every day morning you get every day. So somehow chapati is becoming like a ball, and they just try to tap it from top and make a nice pool out of it. Okay, pool in the ball. Inside the pool there is ghee. One chapati fine, two chapati fine. So many pools are coming into the plate. So that is where we need to regulate, right? So, but senses must be controlled moderately, reasonably. That's what 11th canto Bhagavatam says. I'm not saying this. So sense control is required, but don't starve the senses so much. Give them the basic amount of enjoyment. What flavor? That is also mentioned. Read 11th canto. You're in junior batch, right? Which canto you are in? Which chapter? 9th, right? 8th. I think it will come in 2-3 chapters. This example will come. 11th or 12th chapter somewhere it comes. Some swimming, some kind of light-hearted conversation. When I say YouTube, what exactly you are watching on YouTube also matters, right? YouTube is not problem. What are you watching on YouTube? That matters. Some relaxation is required. Some light music, light-hearted conversation with somebody. Some jovial conversation. Vaishnav is not always grave. Gravity does not mean you are always serious, not approachable. That's not the point. So you can have some. See, he's smiling so happily. So that is fine. Even the humor that we have should be in mode of goodness humor, not tamoguni humor. Tamoguni humor will distract the consciousness. Some sattva humor, some light-hearted conversations, some feast once in a while, some ghee once in a while, or moderate quantities of ghee. Not every chapati becomes a kund. Ghee kund. I didn't see. In the morning I came, sometimes when I come and see, sometimes it happens. That's fine. Okay. Does it answer your question now? Yes. Gaur Kirtan Rahu.
Dependence, introspection of our own things and dependence on the devotees. So I find some of the times the challenge, like when I introspect, it exposes me to my reality, my own shortcomings.
Correct.
So it becomes very painful.
That's what introspection is supposed to do. That's the pain.
This part, major time, and then when it is dependence, again the dependence, when we reveal it there is a fear of judging, that is there, and then what superiors or friends suggest it to following that. This challenge is, I see, like with respect to introspection and the dependence. So how to deal it, and the another part is like you mentioned the example of Ajamila, Vyasadev. So there was like they were
Pururava. They have not covered many examples. Yeah. Pururava, Yayati, all of them.
They were thinking, and the person manifested in front of them to help. But many times we struggle inside or go through our challenges. So, but and then we always look after, okay, how to like approach to someone, the fear of judgment. In this case, Vyasdev case, Narad Muni himself came and he guided. So, how to like balance in the sense what to do in such a situations.
So, in short, what I understood from your question is, when you do some honest self-introspection, you will know your own faults and it could be discouraging, disappointing. When you reveal it to other people, you are fearing that others may judge you, uh, misunderstand you, or look down upon you, or disrespect you, or whatever. I acknowledge both possibilities. Yes, what you said is correct. For a struggling sadhaka, these two are uh, common experiences, no doubt. However, uh, just because we are exposed to our own faults, that does not mean we don't work on them. So we need to gather some little courage, and maybe you can do introspection in phases. Right? So let me improve on this aspect of my bhakti. If I start introspecting on all my devotional practices, uh, my chanting is bad, my reading is bad, my seva is bad, my sadachar is bad. You get poor marks in all 5S in 5S model, right? Then you may get little overly disappointed probably. So do it step by step. Maybe you can work on one limb or one aspect of your devotional practice. You can work on it. You can try to improve that part. I think my chanting is very poor. I think let me focus on this first. धीरे धीरे करेंगे बाकी सब. But let me first focus on improving the quality of my chanting. At least let me sit at one place, or sit or stand, whatever, at one place and then chant, instead of chanting 2 rounds in the morning, 4 rounds in the afternoon, 10 rounds in the night, and somehow manage to complete 60 rounds by 10 p.m. or 11 p.m. So let me just streamline my chanting. Okay, if that's where somebody is struggling, they can slowly streamline that one part, right? Then slowly come to reading. I think last 1 year I have not been reading so much. Last 1 month I have not studied Bhagavatam so much. I am still stuck up in the first chapter only. So okay, let me just streamline. Let me begin with 20 minutes a day, slowly make it 30 minutes a day, maybe 1 hour in a day. So like that, do it step by step. So our introspection should ultimately uplift our consciousness. Our repentance and regret should result in an upliftment of consciousness, not that we egoistically regret and we feel very either totally demotivated or or we deny the faults. नहीं 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 मैं अच्छा हूँ. I'm good. I'm not bad. Some people are like that. Some people, the regret becomes so egoistic regret, they can't just accept that they have committed a mistake. Let me give an example, Shastric example. It makes things easy. Parikshit Maharaj committed a mistake. What was the mistake? He kept a dead snake around his neck. Right? He came back to palace and he regretted, honestly repented. What is the result? Srimad Bhagavatam is born. From Parikshit Maharaj's honest regret and honest repentance, Srimad Bhagavatam took birth. On another note, on another side, you see somebody regrets. They finally understand that they have done a mistake and they repent for that mistake, and the repentance becomes so intense that they commit suicide. Right? They're regretting definitely. But they're unable to accept that how can I do this mistake? And more than repentance or guilt there is a feeling of shame. The pain that they're experiencing is not only because they have done the mistake. The pain they're experiencing is because others came to know about their mistake. So this is shame and this is guilt. There's a difference between shame and guilt. In guilt, you feel bad for doing a mistake. In shame, you feel bad because others came to know about your mistake. We should have some shame, definitely. But that should not be the only reason for you feeling bad, that others came to know about me. You should primarily feel bad for doing that mistake, and others also came to know that adds to your pain, right? So now coming back to the previous point, some people repent, and from out of that repentance something glorious comes out. The repentance should lead to rectification of the mistake and upliftment of consciousness. But if the repentance makes you totally demotivated and discouraged and disappointed and depressed that one may even commit suicide or other some kind of self-destructive or withdrawal kind of mode, that regret is based on ego. False ego, simple. As simple as that. That's about introspection part. So you introspect and take your steps to improve yourself step by step, gradually, not abruptly, and also try to focus on one aspect of your character, one aspect of your personality, and slowly improve that instead of just overwhelming yourself by analyzing everything. Subjects में मेरे को poor marks आ रहे. Focus on one subject, right? That may be a practical approach. So as far as expressing it to others is concerned, you don't have to express your heart to everybody on the planet or everybody in your batch also. You should have one or two or a handful of trustworthy friends, trustworthy seniors, trustworthy mentors. As you said, they may judge you. Express in front of those people who may not judge you. Some judgment is required, but the judgment should not lead to disrespecting you. Right? So without judgment, how can anybody become a mentor or a counselor or a manager or a leader? But the judgment is only the discretion part. What is right, what is wrong, what is good, what is bad, what is harmful, what is beneficial, what is appropriate, what is inappropriate, what is auspicious, what is inauspicious. So that's the judgment. And after that judgment is made, next step is how to help the person go from wrong to right, from bad to good. So express that in front of those people who don't misjudge you or misunderstand you or disrespect you for your mistakes or for your shortcomings, but they help you. I know some devotees, when I become little critical or whatever, consciousness not proper, I may vent out some frustration or whatever. I know a couple of devotees who gently, diligently, intelligently bring the topic to something positive, right? Or highlight the other side of the thing so that I get a balanced perspective. So expressing in front of such people is more beneficial than expressing in front of anyone. So when you express yourself in front of someone who may take advantage of you or who may disrespect you or misjudge you, then it will do more harm than good. You should have that much judgment or discretion or discrimination to reveal your heart only in front of a reliable person. And also different things you can reveal to different people. Not one person cannot satisfy all your needs, Prabhu. As simple as that. Right? For example, in my case, if I have to relish the darshan of the deities, I have some artistic devotees with whom I can share. Oh, turban acha banda hai. Very nice flower decoration of Radharani. Very nice guppy dots on Vrindavan Bihari's face. So I have few people with whom I can relish that. If I have to relish sweet shlokas, I have few friends. Right? If you have to discuss some practical aspects of services and all, I have few people like that. So one person cannot satisfy all your needs. Everybody has their own nature. And you are a combination of multiple talents or feelings or emotions, or you have multiple needs. So all these multiple needs can be satisfied the Vaishnava community around you in different ways. So don't expect everything from one person. If it happens, that's great. There's variety amongst Vaishnavas. You can just express your thing in front of those people who can help you and not misjudge you. Makes sense? Thank you. I think we should stop here. Prasad. Shrimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.